You've read the indictment that the US has just uploaded yesterday. What are your thoughts on this? How serious is this case?
Well, there are 2 counts on which indictment has been made. Indictment is like an allegation.
Right.
Like in India, you call it framing of charges.
Yes.
So the indictment count are that you conspired by hiring an assassin to murder a US citizen, and you delivered $15,000.
Right.
You also traveled different countries for this purpose. So you are the part of conspiracy.
Right.
If the conspiracy and allegation are proved correct, then the punishment is of 10 years on each count.
On each count, right.
Now in American system is that unlike us, apart from the judge, there are 12 members of the jury.
Right.
Members of the jury are chosen from the American citizens just on a blind basis.
Yeah.
They can disqualify if they know anything about the case already, or if they are biased.
Right.
So the effort is to have an impartial trial.
Right.
Now, unlike our system, there they take the right of liberty very seriously.
Right.
It means all the safeguards will be provided to make sure that no innocent person is convicted.
Right.
And no criminal is also left out.
Right.
So their system to that extent is far more effective.
Aditya, since you've been tracking this case as well, are we absolutely sure that this activist that the indictment mentions is indeed Gurpatwant Singh Pannun?
Well, yes, there were media reports, but nothing for certain has been said officially yet. India has also not revealed any names. It has refused and refuted any kind of charges. But there have only been media reports so far quoting sources in the National Security Council, perhaps in the CIA and the Department of Justice in the United States. That indicates that perhaps it was Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. In fact, Pannu himself has been claiming that yes, he is the man who was to be eliminated. But there's a larger question here. Till now, there are mostly media speculations on what exactly has happened. Apart from that, this character, Nikhil Gupta, that is being mentioned, could be an arms dealer, could be a drug trafficker, could be a criminal himself. What associates him with the Indian government, or how is he being said as the representative of the Indian government? At the same time, they revealed that he was in touch with someone who is part of the Indian government and perhaps was part of some agency as a senior field officer who is given battle tank training, etc. And if there is somebody from the CRPF certainly is not given any kind of battle tank training. They are given training, commando style training. They are given training as an additional police force for riot control, for policing needs, but not like the army or the armored corps, with battle tanks or other sophisticated equipment.
Right. So, Dr. Singh, since you're literally an expert on the US criminal justice system, I mean, we've spoken in the past on several cases involving Indian nationals. How, there have been several cases in the past of Indian nationals being indicted in the US, and indeed they faced trial. How different is this case of Nick Gupta from those previous cases?
Now, one remarkable change after when Donald Trump became the president, we have this new theory called alternative facts.
Right.
Earlier, at least there was a certainty, there are facts. But now there are alternative facts. So now to what extent the story, as Aditya rightly pointed out, by media is to be believed, that who is really this Nikhil Gupta? And our Ministry of External Affairs have appointed an independent investigation committee to find out that what is all fuss about. So on the one hand, the trial will go in USA, but at the same time, we are investigating because we are against terrorists, but we are not in the business of eliminating terrorists.
On foreign soil.
On foreign soil.
Right. And so Aditya, what do we know so far about this committee that the MEA is appointed? And there's been a very marked difference in the way the Indian government has reacted to Canada's allegations vis-a-vis this case.
Well, India respects and understands that there's a bilateral relations with US that goes, decades far. And at this moment also, the strategic defense and intelligence cooperation is very strong between US and India. So while these allegations have been discussed, behind closed doors for last several months, there was US National Security Advisor, the CIA chief who were in New Delhi in August and in October to discuss the same. of course, it is being said that NSA Ajit Doval also had conversations with his counterpart. But as I said, most of these are media speculations. The independent probe committee has been ordered by India because, India knows the reality. The facts, so-called facts that have been revealed by the US or the alternate facts. This is a stated fact in the sense that drug trafficking, criminals engaged in eliminating people has been happening for years. India has 26 such extradition requests pending with Canada and no action has been taken. Similarly with the US, on one hand there is Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, on the other hand there are Arsh Dalla and other criminal gangsters staying on US soil, part of organized crime syndicate, drug trafficking, killing, contract killing, and yet there is no response or reaction at all. In fact, I'll tell you my own example. I've been covering the Khalistani terror for last decade or so. I have personally received threats from Gurpatwant Singh Pannun and the SFJ, and thanks to him, I am being provided security. So it's a stated fact that Pannu is a designated terrorist, a dual citizen of US and Canada, and yet evidences have been shared with US and Canada both, but there's no action at all.
Dr. Singh, how do you explain this? This is a question that Aditya and me have agonized for a long time. How is a dual US-Canadian national able to preach hatred against India so freely and threaten diplomats, threaten the safety of airlines, airline passengers? And he's been doing it for a period of months. And conversely, we would never allow an Indian national to use Indian soil to preach hatred against the United States or target, threaten US diplomats. What explains this dichotomy?
See, on the one hand, India has so much respect for rule of law. So at international arena, we always advocate that rule of law is to be followed. And we have treaty with America also in so many areas. But at the same time, American soil is so much open for so many, it is almost a refuge for scoundrels. Now,
so freedom of expression
sometimes has gone too much.
Misused, gone too far.
And too far. And to that extent, sometimes it is difficult even for America to handle the crimes which have happened over there. And that's why so many people do not get convicted. And that's why we want to know the truth. And that's why Ministry of External Affairs have said, okay, we take these allegations seriously. And let's see who this Nikhil Gupta is. Supposing he is a trafficker or drug dealer. And somebody is just using the name or misusing the name. Then Indians and Indian government is not to be maligned for that. So we will cooperate fully with America in the fair investigation.
What do we know, Aditya, about this investigation that Dr. Singh mentioned, that the MEA has very speedily appointed this committee, and where do you see this going?
Well, as of now, if you ask me about the relations between India and US, I don't think that this particular case is going to ruin the relationship. There have been far worse, cases in the past as well. Be it diplomatic ties, be it nuclear deals, be it the Devyani Khobragade case, or many others.
I think the Indo that's a given. The Indo-US relationship is far too important to be spoiled by incidents like this.
But as I said, we have encountered over the past many decades, I guess for past at least 4 decades, that many countries, I'm not naming any particular country, but many countries have been using such separatist organizations, such threats, such intimidation as a part of their foreign policy goals. And especially with India, that has been seen often, and we've seen India tackle that. So India is very much capable of tackling this as well. This might have come as a shock sometime around June and July, but I think a lot of conversations have happened since. I can also tell you when it comes to Canada, a lot of backroom talks are underway. Ajay Bisaria and Vikas Swarup, in fact, have met their old counterparts, Nadir Patel and the current High Commissioner, and they're trying that at least in the diplomatic arena, conversations move forward, the normalization of ties really happens. But unfortunately, on that Niger case, it's continuously a sticking point still, because there also a trial will be beginning. Even though I've been speaking to the Indian intelligence officers and they've been telling me that Canada and US both don't have a shred of evidence.
They don't have any evidence in this case. But Aditya, do we know that the Indian government did ask for Pannun's extradition?
I'm not sure about Pannu. but I am sure of 26 extradition requests that I've sent out, which includes a lot of Khalistanis in Canada as well as in US. And India has been asking US to act against the Khalistanis who attacked our consulate in San Francisco and have continuously also desecrated the Mahatma Gandhi statue outside the Indian embassy in Washington DC.
Again, Dr. Singh, this question, I mean, how is it the United States and Canada, provide sanctuary to all these people who are doing all these things, freely?
These people present themselves as victim of operation of Indian government.
Right.
Of 1984 riots and others are taken as an example.
Yes.
So, in fact, American government is not properly informed. The kind of ground, say for example, if a person seeks asylum on the basis that because of dowry demand, the entire family is to be eliminated.
Right.
Now, it takes time before the facts come.
Right.
When the facts come, of course, American government and other governments are quite efficient. But till the facts come, they give a benefit of doubt.
Right.
That if you are saying something on a humanitarian ground, let's keep you for a while.
Right.
So most of the time, American government itself become victim of wrong propaganda. And since it takes time to find the truth, they take the advantage of that.
Right. And then over the years, America has and Canada has become this heaven for these kind of separatist elements.
Like for example, when I was studying in USA, we were able to invite General Buller, the person who was organizing all this, just to understand his point of view.
Yes.
Now it was possible in America to hear that kind of a debate.
Right.
In India, it is not possible. So in a certain sense, that there is a robust freedom over there. But at the same time, we have to make sure that freedom of expression is one thing, and preaching hatred against particular community or state or secession.
Yes.
Pannu is saying that the state of Punjab should be seceded from India. Now it's a clear case of international terrorism.
Right.
And I'm sure our Honorable Prime Minister must have discussed that with President Biden. And whether it's my friend President Obama or Biden, they or Clinton, they understand India.
Aditya, I want to bring you in on this.
I wanted to understand the legal, cases as well, because in diplomacy, sir, Canada has been repeatedly saying and using the term we have credible allegations. US, on the other hand, has also been saying that this is an indictment. No facts or evidences have been put in the public domain. More so with Canada because it's been happening for more than 2 months now. Do you think that these governments, now that they've gone public, they've spoken inside the parliament as well, they should reveal at least some evidence in front of the people?
See, as far as the indictment is concerned, if you see the indictment carefully, it's a federal court.
Right.
And it says defendants.
Yes.
Defendant can be in a civil suit.
Right.
So they are not saying the accused.
Right.
So they have made a very clear distinction.
Right.
That Nikhil Gupta is shown as a defendant.
As a defendant and not a... What's the breakdown this...
Could he be a witness? Could he be involved as a witness in this
at later stage? See, there is one concept which in India has started recently, but in America quite well, called plea bargaining.
Yes.
Plea bargaining.
So plea bargaining is that if you cooperate with the prosecutor and save the time of the court, they can either make you an approver, or they can reduce the sentence, provided you cooperate with them.
Right.
So we don't know what the true credentials of Nikhil Gupta's are.
Right.
Supposing if he's a trafficker or druggist or something, and then for the lesser punishment, if plea bargaining is there, then it might take a different color altogether.
Right. So we don't know what exactly is going on. All we have for now is that indictment
But
document.
one danger is that instead of judge, there is a jury.
Right.
And whether it's a jury means common people in India or in America, it's very easy to make the jury emotional on certain propaganda as opposed to strict access of the evidence. So that we have to watch out.
Sanjeev, I'll tell you also one example that just came to my mind when Sir actually spoke about plea bargaining.
Yes.
Many years ago, there was a case of Ghulam Nabi Fai that happened in US, who was acting on the behest of the ISI
move,
who was not registered as a lobbyist as per the US law, and was lobbying continuously, receiving money from the Pakistan ISI. He was indicted, he was convicted, I think to 10 years in prison. Finally, he had a plea bargain, and after some time, a couple of years in prison, he was released.
Right.
Today, Ghulam Nabi Fai continues to operate from US, receiving money, etc.
Yes.
And in fact, I did a sting operation on Ghulam Nabi Fai a few years ago, in which he openly confessed that, you know, this particular Pakistani ambassador is good, he sends a lot of money, but this particular Maliha Lodi is good, but the other one is not sending enough money.
News9 Plus. Download now.